Hello, my name is Anitarky and don't forget to subscribe and comment. Wake up. Literally speaking, there is that his sister called Kuraja to enjoy starting the day hitting him without mercy with wrestling attacks that he learned from his mother, who is no more afraid than his mother. That stuffed animal that his sister is also learning to go to school. Note to Subaru, Kanade's butler, the most popular girl in the school, and not only that, she is also the director's daughter. She works tirelessly for Kanades and has a legion of followers within the school that she anointed. On the other hand, she does not enjoy such popularity, which is due mainly to his irrational fear of women, to the point that simple contact with a girl makes her nose bleed, but not for the reasons you think. During one of her panic attacks, she discovers the truth about Subaru. The butler, who everyone thinks is a boy, is actually an infuriating girl. It sure seems like the one who cried at school with the intention to erase his memory, and is surprised to notice how the young people are able to withstand a lot of physical punishment. And finally, after a fight, Subaru faints Kingru to hit sometime after he wakes up in the school infirmary to notice that he is handcuffed to the bed and sleeping at the same time. His side is Kanade. Kanal explains who cried is actually the only daughter of the family butler, but being a woman did not allow them to continue the tradition of being a butler. However, after insisting so much, Kanade's father made a deal with the young girl from Subaru. 3 years could go by without anyone knowing that she is a woman. He will allow the young woman to be next butler of the Kinger family. That is a shadow of history, but also of Kanade's sadistic attitude towards him, since she enjoyed having him under her power. However, despite Kanade's threats, they reveal to him that the real reason why he has him tied is to protect the secret of Sarum, to whom he is very fond of. Canals also reveals that the other bed is all blue, but it is to prevent the butlers from killing the young man. Finally, Kanade convinces me here to keep the secret after threatening him in different ways, in addition to finding the young man's phobia fascinating, which is first expressed with a nosebleed followed by fainting the next day. Kinjo. He wakes up again with a beating and is surprised to find his witch in his house, who was sent by Kanade to keep an eye on him. Mansion are changing since several employees notice that he goes up, but he has changed his schedules to adapt this to keep him under surveillance. By channel orders, he must accompany our protagonist to school every day to control that the young man do not reveal the identity of the butler. However, this new relationship causes the rumor to have begun to spread at school that Kinyoro and the butler are dating together. Crazy upsets the members of the user fan club known as 4S, who Jurado destroyed the young man. However, a civil war of the entire Orquinin group, the creation of the Warm Observer group of interested insurance in the details of the relationship. In order to cure Kenjiroka's phobia, no one forces the young man to go on a fake date with Subaru. He also gives the young woman a voucher for an order. The little boy gives the voucher to Subaru. The young woman is forced to obey whatever the boys order. The young people meet after school and Subaru changes his butler's clothes for more feminine clothing. The date seems to work and the two young people get along quite well, to the point that the one who cried confesses to the young woman that he caused her fear of women, that this comes from the Spider-Man sessions that his mother, a famous fighter, and his sister practiced with him. Although more than practices, they were beatings, to the point that the only way they would stop was if his nose bled, since they didn't want to dirty the carpet. That created the reflection of blood in him when a woman who, for no other reason, misses anyone who follows the date very closely, calls on the phone. Super Wow orders him to touch Ginger when the young men are about to bleed. The young butler baits him. Now he calls kindergarten and insists that the boy tells you the dance that I gave him. Kim turns and obeys. And although at first he seems super or furious, his attitude is even more submissive, and he asks our young hero to give him an order that she will carry out without hesitation. And this is where he asked her what you would have done, and I, not wanting her to think badly of him, decided to use his order and ask the young woman to dance like a sheep. A relieved man, his witch obeys, which strengthens the relationship, to the point that he treats our hero with greater affection when he surely tries to clean some dust from Kingrun's head. They are interrupted by a curious curiosity from Natcha's sister, Ball, the sister of Afak. The protagonist believes that his joke is male butler is dressed as a woman to go out with his brother letters to see him often throughout the date, and for fear of losing him, who knocks him down easily. Defeated and angry, cracked at his alleged crime. The next day his sister's relationship is still tense, but there are problems. Biggest is day of medical exams to do it without anyone realizing that it is a woman. After one complication after another, both young people help each other. The fact that Subaru is a woman, and in the process allowing Kenio not to gradually overcome his fear of touching women, although he also manages to get the two young men to deepen their friendship, to the point where I was a nosebleed when he came up to play a changing channel. Thank you. And I explained to him that for the first time since going to school, the young butler has found her first upright friend. Returns home and discovers that his sister is now in love with Subaru, who is is in love with her gold and whom he considers a man with the idea of fixing the things that no one pretends to be Kim's girlfriend Jurigita Kuruhya. And she went on a double date at the water park in Canale Park. Kingro told her that many years ago when they were her, she and her Euro were kidnapped in that same place. And although the situation was resolved, the relationship between the two changed. Our hero reveals that just as he has a phobia of women, his butler has a weakness, but he ends the conversation before revealing it while the young people are having fun in the park one day. Girl risks drowning in the pool. What she ingested rescued her, although this caused another of her faints, and when she woke up they received her breath when the kidnapped people communicated with them via video. That her weakness is a fear of knives, a product of the experience she had as a young girl when she was kidnapped. Said phobia has also weakened the point of fainting. Ginger decides to go alone to rescue Kanade and her sister, and in the building under construction where the kidnapper has the young people fight against the criminal who easily takes the lead, and our hero is about to be defeated when a renewed crane comes to the rescue and defeats the criminal. The criminal Subaru rescues the young people and reconciles with Kanade, which makes him promise to always be there. There to protect her immediately, the kidnapper takes off his mask. We discover what Negro lordship with no father of Subaru, and everything was a plan so that the young butler Super is his fear of knives. The next day, who cried recovers the Sasuke mansion where the father of his hero Shrek confesses that he has no sympathy for Yale since he believes that our hero is trying to take advantage of his daughter. That's why I enjoy hitting him. He would do it again. Face on the other hand, he thanks the young man for the help in strengthening his relationship with the butler who considers his first love. They also thank you, and they both have a tender moment until their sister, people in the room, says Losa, chases her brother through the mansion and turns around, wakes up happy, and her sister will be at camp for a week, which allows her to wake up without beatings and eat what he wants. However, happiness does not last too long when one is desperate. Her brute that her part prevents, so she leaves him at the young man's house and asks that the young man take her in her home, whether her brokers of her kind butler decides or not. He is too interested in the offer since he only wants to sleep and eat. The young woman does not accept the terms since his job as a butler also includes the physical care of his master, so he will not allow the young man to train. And while they are both together, the sister returns early from camp since they sent her back after breaking her arm fighting a bear. She is very happy with them. She discovers that her veil will stay with them for a few days. The girl tries to seduce the butler, and when things don't, they could get more complicated. This era is starting to get sick and no one shows up at his house with a suitcase and dressed as a maid who doesn't ask you to stay, and live at home he left offering his Mugame services but tries to make small talk saying that he already has a butler, which started a war between channels and his group to see who is the better servant. The contest is interrupted when an exhausted Kingaraki falls ill in bed, which worries his little sister. Subro takes care of Kim Humpback while he is sick, but the butler's actions are too extreme because no one invites the young man to walk, promising that he will explain the reason for the young woman's attitudes on the banks of the river. With the father, who is living in a tent, Kanade explains our hero that since the matter of the false kidnapping in the water park, the relationship between father and daughter became distant and then aggressive, which made the work environment too tense, so the father from Canada, right to both of them, makes them reconcile and overcomes, appears in search of the one who cried and confesses that her extreme methods to take care of them are due to her sister's concern for our hero's health, since the girl is very afraid that Kincharan will die. Just as it happened with his father, whoever cries promises to recover, but not before asking the young man to reconcile with his own father and return to the mansion. The other day at school, not recognizing King's courage, he kisses the young man, which is his gratitude. First kiss that no one admits that I am first. That for her also on his way to school he is hit by a young woman who is driving, although due to her physical resistance the young man is not harmed by the accident. The girl recognizes him as the butler's close friend Subaru, and after presenting himself as Muse Manny, companion of the sister of our protagonist, he hit him to the point of sending him to the school infirmary. In the infirmary, lying on the street crying, they feel comfortable near the butler and confesses his gold about of his first kiss, but without clarifying that it was with Kanade, and admits that you would like to repeat it. Superhuman understands the situation since he believes that the young man he refers to the time she gave him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation at the water park, and if he is willing to think about it, when will I win between room, and interrupts the young people can go together to the school festival. To anyone I suggest organizing a transvestism cafe where men dress up as women and vice versa. This way your group will be able to experience the school dressed as a woman. On the school terrace, who cried meets again with Asami, who demands that they both go out on a fake date to make her boyfriend, and the young woman also reveals that she is a member of the Subaru fan club and is already in love with the butler, whom she considers a man. Yusumi showed him photos Kim Jo of his date with his female friends, was convinced that the young people were cheating on the butler, and the photos were public and does not exceed He also reveals that during the school festival the Subaru fan club is for will face the Warm of the Observer group for sure in an all-out war. Super interrupts the meeting, but here in Chile trying to protect them you had to go on a date with a son, which infuriates the butler. The date seems to go badly thanks to Uyami's demanding character. However, he manages to win the friendship of the young woman who at the end of the date saves him for Parrish. They both say goodbye until the next day where they will pretend to be a couple at the festival another day. Preparations for the school festival begin. During the school fair, many men dress as women and vice versa. So when they see Subaru in feminine clothes, everyone assumes that he is a man disguised as a woman. The bar is a success, however, the young woman feels upset about something. Ginger Usami's fake date seems to be going well, but is interrupted when a jealous woman decides to keep an eye on both young people and accompanies them everywhere, which bothers a zombie who begins to get attached to Kingro in one of the school cafes. The trio meets Krugia, who treats him with great affection and does not respond in the same way. You confess to me, who cried that he has in life the open and ungrouped attitude of his younger sister. This revelation makes him muse and becomes melancholic and loses interest in the false quote, so he frees from his obligations of sheep, who represents as Naraminakira, president of the Warm Subaru Observer group, to warn our protagonist of the dark intentions that you have protected by the same one who dated a young woman to protect her from her fan clubs if you would have witnessed. But to whom does he confess that in one of the school buildings a meeting of the two Butler fan clubs is actually taking place in an old school building? The two groups of fans confront Ginger and they find themselves between. They are hiding and are surprised to discover that the representative of the S4 club is nothing more and nothing less than anyone. The young people are discovered, and to prevent the group from beating up, Kinjiro decides to organize a question and answer contest whose main topic is the butler. In the question and answer contest, the two clubs get the answers right, although he knows the answers also as a result of their closeness. With the young girl, when everything seems to be going on real, as the last question is to guess who was Subaru's first kiss. The answer is, since everyone considers mouth-to-mouth breathing in the water park a kiss, but angry Kinger confesses that in his memory his first kiss was Kanade confessing his love to Ruben in front of everyone present. Winning a million, young man rejecting Kim, turning and leaving outside the building. Kim Jordy Canal confesses that the declaration of love was just a lie so that the clubs would stop of bothering our hero, where he also informs the young man that he uses he quit the S4 club, so worried that the young woman has made a drastic decision, who cried runs to meet her, and the two reconcile. Feminize the school festival, who cried introduce me to his friends, who accept him into the group without hesitation. Grateful to the young woman, promise to find a way to cure the phobia of women. The vacation begins. They talk about what they injected. He begins to feel dizzy. Protagonist notices the aroma of a stew and the smell of a woman who I wake up in an unknown place with Kana, the young psychopath. He confesses that he heard it at his house for the couple on vacation with his parents, since they want to go somewhere else, so he decided to take his own vacation in a place of his choice. He also confesses that the dragon is our hero and he took him on vacation. With the idea of curing his gynophobia after spending the day at the beach here, I decided not to go to the nearby dining room, where I discovered that the place is run by Kurugia Kusami and Akuru, who, when chased by a shark, separated from their group and were forced to work in the place since they also lost their money, worried that the girls would discover Subaru's secret. He runs out to put some glasses on the butler that I have seen in a bikini, to the surprise of our hero. The costume works, and that the young woman does not represent as Puniri, her butler's cousin, however, believes her cousin's story but misunderstands the situation, believing that the young woman is Subaru disguised as a woman, and they are both interrupted by the channel that tells her that she is dating Kim Hyan. Furious, the channel lies and tells her that the night before she was listening to everything in the distance where the young people ran out, who is carrying her, and assures her that nothing happened between him, but that the stew was the young woman's idea to treat her phobia of women, so they treat their friends to spend the rest of their vacation at the inn. However, they are interrupted by Subaru's father, who demands that the girls return to the channel mission, and his group pretend not to know the butler and threaten to report him to the police. What amuses our prosthetist recognizes a sad expression on her face. Women have trouble falling asleep, so they decide to take a thermal bath in our bathroom. Our ball has an exchange of words with Superuck's father, who does not approve the relationship between the boy and his daughter. The other day on the beach going up, she still uses her Puniri costume, so everyone considered her the woman. That night the local fair, the channel continues to feel like she is the girlfriend, which angers Haosung, causing a strong competition between the two to show who is better. However, at the fair she notices Subaru's absence and decides to look for her, and on the way to growing up again with the young woman's father, who tells her that on that island Subaru's mother is buried, and if nothing had gone on vacation with her parents, the young butler would have lost the opportunity to visit her mother's grave. I want to find her bureau in the cemetery and console the young actress to the point of hug her, and they went up. She refuses to accept the hug due to Kenjiro's genophobia. However, the boy insists, and during the hug, his nose explodes at night. It does not bleed, but the physical effort dry vapes and he falls exhausted at the feet of the butler after a turn. She wakes up in the infirmary to find out that a paintball tournament is about to start where one of the prizes is a kiss from the beautiful queen of the festival. And it is all against all, and although she does not fight bravely and Habai is grateful, she is consecrated as the winner of the tournament. Then the kiss on Punaru's cheek at night while they enjoy the fireworks. Konoe Subaru plans the next semester who arrive trusts that even if things get more complicated he will wait for them with a different attitude since he has her as a friend, and overcame. On the other hand, he confesses that he wants to be more than that, but a job in a maid's bar. The young man is not very happy about the situation, but he owes me a favor. This for copying turns out to be school work, so he agrees to work for just one day in the place, and now the two young people are co-workers during their break who I don't remember the moment under the fireworks where Subaru asked to be more than friends but immediately after changed his mind. Remember, if you haven't always only been interrupted when the owner of the bar forces the young people to serve a very special client. In fact, Carnal is hiding from an overprotective Subaru and decided to spend some time at the bar. Her group leaves her mother, but due to a confusion she ends up working in a bar staffed by butlers. Channel 17 spends time torturing the poor 15, but after a while I lose interest and decides to retire. However, just when you are bored, the new part-time employees enter the bar. Nakuro and Russell. Meanwhile, Subaru, trying to escape from the butler's bar, caused a lot of damage to the establishment and is now forced to work to pay for the repairs. Being an excellent butler, the young woman immediately becomes the best employee in the place. It is an accident. The phobia of the women of Ginger was activated again, causing the young man to faint when he woke up. That nothing decided to make things worse. Yakuza to our hero of having a fetish for bagamas, thus sowing discord between him and his friend, especially that he has feelings for our planet. When the situation is about exploit, her baby appears and withdraws. That the one from the place who turned chases her, and you confront the young woman about her statements. They had to explain that she expressed herself poorly, and when she told him that she wanted to be more than friends, she was referring to being best friends. Explanation: I agreed. But no, I'm completely like egg. I with you, just leave your like, you don't subscribe. Let's go. The subscribe button is right there. The two say goodbye and each one goes home to school. Every time he has a meeting with the school club. Video game development, and using their tricks they convince the members to program a game according to their specifications. The sister of our planet turns 16. It is decided to celebrate with her new friends. The celebration begins at Yuzama's house, a nice apartment that is super haunted and full of ghosts. However, you are used to ghosts, minimize the situation and continue with the birthday party. During the holidays, the birthday girl gives you glasses, and she told me a pillow with the images. The butler in the maid's cafe. The birthday celebration continues. All its friends dress up as maids and take care of the young channel, and Kyuji gives her an exclusive fighting video game with her friends as playable characters. She is very happy. She remembers how her brother was always there for her during her birthdays, and she gave him a giant teddy bear that she uses it to practice her fighting moves. However, last year on her 15th birthday, her brother could not compare it since he preferred to go to a concert, which involved the girl spending the day with her crunchy aunts. She recognizes that although her brother was not there with her on her birthday, he is always by her side. It is this revelation that motivates her to be more independent. The young woman returned home to find a surprise box in the living room, and inside a new teddy bear, gifts from her brother, who told her that although she was angry with him for missing her birthday the previous year, the one she actually noticed in reality, it wasn't anger, it was sadness, because they promised to never fail him again. Nor were the two brothers happy. They hug in their haunted apartment using the ghosts, play the game he gave them, win a new semester, start that, but you can't get it here. On YouTube in his head while both young people walk to school. They warn that by channel orders the treatment is going to increase the level of intensity, but they are interrupted with the savage butler saying run over again. Brujami and Nothing invited to lunch on the terraces of the school. He invites his friend and his butler some of the delights that are drive to casa. Whoever I want is amazed by the taste of the food, but they are surprised total that they went up acts in a strange way. One deduces that the butler's attitude may be due to the fact that he added wine white to his food and could judge drunk, who already takes him to the infirmary until the drunkenness passes. He is surprised when no one begins to make a strange sound that draws the attention of the other schoolmates back to the infirmary, who no one confesses to her, who swears that the sound is a hiccup, which awakens a concern in her egg that Nothing the eldest, took They are worried because the young girl's hiccups make her so pretty that everyone around her loses control, and no one even he overcame that immune to the power of the sound that super cool Kanade emits in search of methods to solve the situation. Do I want to be alone with Kanade, who asks the young titans about with the butler but returns with the cure of the hypo. Kanade is already cured as far as they can, continuing with their daily tasks. Is worried young people walk through the school hallways and one distracted Kanade stumbles, falling down the stairs and hurting his ankle in front of a horrified Sure that he failed to try to avoid the fall in the private hospital of the family of Canary Islands for their support, but interrupted by the young woman's father, who proceeds to reveal his obligations. Since the young woman allowed her mistress to suffer harm in her angry presence, Channel promises that she will immediately speak to her father to resolve the situation. I say she will fix the situation, but Subaru's father explains to them that her brother will no longer be a butler of Kanade, but that she will be able to return to school dressed as a woman. An unknown super pride and be tired by Kim Twist, who tries to please her, and the retiree thanks and gives her a kiss on the cheek. My son Hey, leaving a Quiniero passed out in the middle of the street. Use my wake up a fainted man. The young man finds the butler in the same place where the fireworks were last seen, since he knows that it is an important place for both of them. Seeing that the young woman feels bad, who I do not propose to keep her company in the Posada. What Kanade tried, but his father not so much. That night you meet them, he strengthens their friendship to the point of sleeping holding hands. A gigantic step for our homophobic friend No Blomperwich, who does stay. Leave a like if you are listening to this for the xenophobic protagonist. The next day one in search for the young kings does not return home, and went up to the mansion then with their obligations with the rest of the employees. The next day, however, he is worried to notice that Kanade is in classes without his faithful butler, to which the young woman informs him that he had changed schools. The news surprises here in tears and also the rest of the school, where the members of the Super Fan Club are mourning the loss of their beloved. The school, a new student introduces herself. Her name is Euro, but Hey Company. They recognize him as their witch's Pigma, and the money is found in their group and her friends in the school hallway, and recognizing their friend they invite her to lunch, which surprises everyone around them due to the surprise attitude of the young woman on the school terrace. While Kinjiro talks, our hero convinces the young woman of how strange the life of a butler super, which agrees since that gave more meaning to her life, but that it is out of her control, and he says that it will help him to go make a deal with his enemies in the dark hallways of the school. He organizes with the members of the football club to gather the largest number of signatures that will allow the young man to be Kanade's butler again. Gathering of signatures is a success, and to the delight of everyone, the butler returns to school. The groups meet and Channels explains that Pumuru, the butler's cousin, changed school, that no one also has a moment of connection